Hello everyone and welcome to Grand Island's Memorial Stadium. My name is George Ayub. I first sat in this grandstand over 60 years ago. I played football down there for 3 years, the same ground on which I graduated from high school. I'm perched high above the 50-yard line in the most spectacular stadium between Lincoln and Denver. Below me is Jack Martin Field, a tribute to the father of Lanny Martin, whose $11.3 million donation fueled a community effort to rebuild, restore, and now rededicate this city's grand legacy, Memorial Stadium. This restored beauty was conceived over a cup of coffee at the Yancey Hotel in downtown Grand Island. It was originally dedicated in the fall of 1947. Since then, Memorial Stadium has been a focal point for Grand Island, a civic gem that has gathered us for sports, graduations, music, anytime we needed to be together. And now our grand legacy to our veterans and to the spirit of our community is bigger, better, and if I may, more beautiful than it has ever been. Let me show you around. In a stadium with no bad seats, perhaps the best of them are in this spacious two-level press box, high above Jack Martin Field, where, ironically, Jack Martin was the official timekeeper for over 2 decades of Grand Island Senior High football games. The press occupied a significantly smaller version of this space when the first game was played in Memorial Stadium in 1947. The new Les and Vera Martin media box has cutting-edge technology to accommodate radio, television, and live streaming. Running the huge state-of-the-art scoreboard near the south end zone starts and ends at the Carol and Bob Noah scorebox, often with students manning the controls. On the second level is a generous space for coaches, scouts, and video crews, all an integral part of traffic on the brand new turf below. Below the West Stadium is the Coach Ken Fisher locker room, large enough to accommodate a Class A football team. Ken Fisher was a legendary coach at senior high, leading the Islanders to a state championship in 1987. There is more too, including athletic training rooms under both the West and East Stadiums, where competitors can prepare to be their best for the games they play, and certified athletic trainers can tend to injuries with the latest advances and equipment available. The Janet and Dale Benson locker room and the Tom and Kathy Martin locker room house girls and boys soccer. Also at the East Stadium is the Diane and Dave Barker visitors locker room, complete with its modern amenities and technology. Down on the concourse is the Bill Marshall 5 Points Bank Champions Hall, a generous meeting space complete with the latest technology. Back out on the concourse is the magnificent donor wall, recognition of those who, with their financial contributions and guidance from the Grand Island Public Schools Foundation, led the way to make the rebirth of the community's grand legacy a reality. The Kim and Tom Dinsdale concession areas under the West and East Stadiums have a friendly vibe. This is where spectators can get their favorite game day foods and refreshments from a brand new concession stand, then join friends on the expansive patio. The concession area and patio underscore the idea that the Memorial Stadium games, concerts, and other community events are at their core social gatherings, where friendships are both born and renewed and community strengthened. No part of Memorial Stadium carries more tradition and importance than the Veterans Memorial Wall underneath the East Stadium. There, an interactive lighted board lists the names of all 185 local veterans who lost their lives during war. And, as it has since 1947, the facade of the East Stadium carries the names of battles in which local veterans fought. In the reimagining and rebuilding of our grand legacy, considerable attention was given how best to honor those in whose name Memorial Stadium stands. The result of those plans is the Veterans Memorial Wall. Well, there you have it, the quick tour, including the 2-story press box, the concourse, the concession areas, the locker rooms, the meeting room, the donor wall, and of course, the Veterans Memorial Wall. The stadium is empty now, but if you listen carefully, you can hear the shouts and murmurs from hundreds of games past and future. The bold and brassy music from dozens of Harvest of Harmony marching band competitions. Names being called as graduating seniors walk across the stage to get a diploma. And with honor and dignity, the faint and solemn notes of the lone bugler. This is Grand Island's Memorial Stadium. Community gathering place, community jewel, community bond. It's our grand legacy.
to welcome back the 1st Infantry Division Band of the U.S. Army from Fort Riley. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd ask you to please rise for the presentation of colors by the Granddale Senior High Air Force Day, ROTC, and our national anthem by Islander alum Sandy Van Pelt. gentlemen, please welcome Grand Island Public Schools Superintendent, Dr. Tawana Grover.
Greetings, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you to Mr. Lanny Martin and his family and all the donors for making the restoring of the Memorial Stadium possible. Let's give them a big round of applause. On behalf of the Grand Island Public Schools Board of Education, staff, students, and school community, it is an honor to welcome you to the renovated and restored Grand Island Memorial Stadium. Today's rededication celebration is a true testament to our alumni and so many with community connections near and far coming together for our grand legacy. This state-of-the-art facility will allow students to showcase their talents as they grow, learn, and thrive. This state-of-the-art facility will provide a place where the community gathers, where the community recounts memories, and create new ones, where the community shines as a legacy lighthouse. Thank you for being here this evening and being a grand part of our reason to celebrate. Because this beautiful state-of-the-art facility is so much more than a stadium. It is a symbol of solidarity where pride, service, and community will forever live on.
At this time, we're pleased to introduce co-chairs of the Our Grand Legacy Campaign and Islander alumni, Jeff and Jane Richardson.
Jane and I would like to thank each and every one here in attendance, as well as all 655 donors who participated in this campaign. Raising close to $15 million is no small feat, and every penny is appreciated, as well as the efforts of hundreds of volunteers. This project could not have been accomplished without your support and the financial contributions. A special thanks to Lanny Martin on his primary donation, without which this project would have never been completed. We would also like to thank the Executive Board and the Cabinet for all the effort and the many, many hours dedicated to this project. Finally, we would like to specifically thank Grand Island Central Catholic for partnering up with us in the community project. They will be using the field for football games, as well as Harvest of Harmony band competitions, and hopefully many other events in the near future. When Tracy first approached Jane and I concerning the project, we were extremely excited and honored to be part of something so wonderful for this community. We did not hesitate to say yes. We would love to be part of this project. This community has been extremely supportive of myself and my family, and we appreciated the chance to give back through this project. I got a few little numbers I'm going to throw at you. We had 655 donors. We raised just shy of $15 million. We had 9 naming rights that were between $300,000 and $500,000. Lanny Martin donated $11.3 million, which is the single largest donation ever given to Grand Island Public Schools.
Well, we did it again, Islanders. As members of the Gish class of 1983, Jeff and I could not be more proud of this stadium project. I can't help but think back to 1947, when a similar group of Islanders banded together to create the original Memorial Stadium. How proud they must have been to create a state-of-the-art stadium for their time. How they came together with a tremendous community effort, utilizing hundreds of volunteers to build the original stadium. How they had a similar dedication ceremony, just like we are now. I can even picture certain people in the crowd, just like I'm sure many of you can as well. My grandfather and grandmother, both GIPS educators, bursting with pride along with their 3 young daughters, one of them being my mother, a young 12-year-old girl at the time, who would later join the Gish marching band on this very field, as well as cheering on the football team as a Gish cheerleader. Little did they know, they would later be watching their grandsons play football on this field, in this stadium. Which brings me to the present day, and here we are again, bursting with pride at what we have accomplished and the effect it will have on our community. All the children and grandchildren, community events and projects that will benefit from this wonderful community asset cannot even be imagined. Am I surprised we accomplished this? Not at all. This is what Islanders do. Join together for a common cause, rally the troops, circle the wagons. We roll up our sleeves and get the job done. The right way, the right time. Of course, we had no idea the hurdles we would need to overcome. Before starting this project, we had never even heard of COVID-19 or the Delta strain, Zoom meetings, directed health measures, or mask mandates. And who would ever think there might be a toilet paper shortage? A lot can happen in 4 years, and we persevered through it all to accomplish our goal. And none of that faced us, and we forged ahead, and here we are today, celebrating this wonderful new stadium. And for tonight, we take it all in, giving credit where credit is due, patting each other on the back, congratulating our community for a job well done. But in the morning and the days ahead of us, we know there will be more projects, more fundraising, more rallying of the troops, circling of the wagons, and the Islander community will continue to support and amaze me. For no matter the political tensions we see on TV or in the newspapers, I know why I live in and love this community. It's because of wonderful people like yourselves, and there's no other place I would want to raise my family or be this very moment than before you, thanking you for everything you have given and all of your wonderful support of this project. So in closing, I say once again, we did it, Islanders. Job well done. Thank you.
Now please help me welcome to the Jack Martin Field Executive Director of the Granddale Public Schools Foundation, Tracy Skelberg, and also City of Granddale Mayor Roger Steele. Speaking on behalf of Tracy tonight, because she's got a little throat issue, her daughter, Kara Skelberg, a junior at Granddale Senior High School.
I want to thank our co-chairs, Jane and Jeff Richardson, whom you just heard from, and Jim and Maureen Carhoff, whom we will hear from soon. They have worked very hard to get to this day. Every project starts with a dream. In every project there is an instigator. It is when that dream is so deeply felt, so timeless, so inspirational, that it actually becomes real. Grand Island High School graduate Mr. Lanny Martin was the dreamer in this case. His leadership gift and challenge to Grand Island has come to fruition today. This dream is also a legacy, a walk backward and forward in time. The Martin family wanted to honor the legacy of their father, Jack Martin, who was so deeply engaged in the success of Grand Island. He was a teacher, a business leader, the mayor, a community volunteer, and a man of faith and family. Jack Martin kept time for the Islanders on this very field for more than 2 decades. Jack was here, likely with his family, when the first game was played in 1947. Why a stadium? It is not just a building or just a field. It is a memorial to lives lost, a tribute to freedom. It is where community comes together, where commonality is more prevalent than that which divides us. It is community pride. And in this case, it was the perfect project to stitch together the fabric of family, school, community, and legacy that is Grand Island. Yesterday, today, and for future generations. On behalf of the Grand Island Public Schools Foundation, our schools, our community, and I want to thank Lanny and the Martin family for dreaming this dream and challenging Grand Island to rise again and restore the magnificent memorial at East Stadium and build the new West Stadium to meet the needs of today and for generations to come. As it was in 1947, our Memorial Stadium continues to be the pride of Grand Island. Thank you to the dreamer, Mr. Lanny Martin.
And now we'd like Mr. Martin and my friend Mayor Roger Steele to join us at the podium.
We're going a little off script right now, so Tracy is a little surprised. Tracy, we give you these flowers on behalf of the Executive Committee for your excellent leadership throughout this campaign. You displayed tremendous dedication and courage to us as you bravely dealt with your personal struggles and tremendous loss, while always joining us for meetings and pushing us forward toward our goal. You put a smile on your face when we knew you were feeling the furthest thing from happy. We appreciate and love you. Thank you.
There is a long history of mayors of Grand Island awarding a key to the city to people who have distinguished themselves through service. As a matter of fact, on September 19, 1954, your father, Mayor Jack Martin, presented the key to the city to then Vice President Richard Nixon. I am proud to follow in your father's footsteps, and I am proud to present you with the key to the city to Grand Island for your service.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, could I have the passcode? Wow. That brings back quite a memory, and I'm really taken back by it. Thank you very much. I remember the picture of my dad giving Vice President Nixon the key to Grand Island. It was on the wall right outside my bedroom that happened to be in the basement of our home on Phoenix Street. And sadly, in 1967, the basement was flooded and the picture was lost. And so now that I'm reminded of this and presented with my own key, it's going to bring all that good memory back. Thank you so much. I have a few formal remarks to make here tonight, but before I do that, I wanted to tell you a story, a memory I have. And it's going to be hard for you to believe, but hold on. So in my senior year in 1963, the fall, our football team was vying for the Big Ten West Conference Championship. We were playing the final and most important game against Hastings right here on this field. And during the key play, with seconds left, I was standing right here, right where I am now. John Sanders was 30 yards away. He had the ball. He had it caught back. He threw it. It went in the air. It sailed over 30 yards. And John Litton caught it and ran in for a touchdown. And we won the Big Ten West that year. So being here on this field, in this very place, is very special for me tonight. And I'd like to make some of my own thank yous to people that I had the good fortune of working with during this process of imagining this field, imagining a renovation, and thinking about how everything could be put in place to get it done. And I want to start by thanking the GI Board of Education. I want to thank Dr. Grover, our superintendent, who drove all the way out with Tracy to meet with me in Denver and kind of seal the deal. Thank you. I appreciated your interest in the project. I want to thank Dan Petch, Director of Buildings and Grounds, Jeff Gilbertson, Principal of Grand Island High, Cindy Wells, Activities Director, the architects, Cannon, Moss, Brigger and Associates, Osmond Construction, and all the subcontractors and all the individuals that worked on this building. You really made it all possible. Also, a thank you to the Foundation Board, to campaign co-chairs, Jim and Maureen Karhoff, and Jeff and Jane Richardson, and also to our honorary chairs, Tom and Yenser Rathman. And a special thank you to George Ayub for his great loyalty to Grand Island, to Senior High, and to this project, as well as his narration of that beautiful video about the renovation of Memorial Stadium. And I want to especially thank, a very special thank you from the bottom of my heart to Tracy Skalberg, our Executive Director, for skillful and strong effort to lead this project and to really make it happen. It really wouldn't have happened had Tracy not been able to put all these pieces together. I don't know whether I'll get through this whole speech, but I'll try to speed it up here. I did want to mention my siblings. They're all represented here today by family members, and I had some great siblings. Les Martin and his wife Vera, the late Carol Noah and her husband Bob, Diane and Dave Parker, Tom and Kathy Martin, Janet and the late Bill Benson, and our late sister Marilyn. My siblings and spouses and Sharon and I are honored to have joined with all of you to make this wonderful renovation possible. And we believe that Grand Island is an extraordinary place and one that will always be in our hearts. And now to the end, skip a few pages. For Sharon and me and our extended family, we've got engaged in this project because we wanted to get back to Grand Island and what it has meant to us and all that we have received. Thank you all so much.
For the entire Martin family, we would ask the Martins to please stand and be recognized. Let's show them our appreciation. As we move into the rededication section section of the ceremony, we are pleased to have with us today Commander of our American Legion and Sons of the American Legion, Mike Ponte. Commander of the VFW, Annie Holmerson. Chairman of the United Veterans Club Honor Guard, Ron Callahan. All-County Veteran Services Officer, Don Shuda. Commander of the American Legion Writers, Greg Martin. Nebraska District 6 Commander for the American Legion, Julie Schnitzler. President of the VFW Auxiliary, Lori Scala, and President of the American Legion Auxiliary, Carmen Larson. At this time, please welcome Chaplain Major General and Bishop William Denninger, U.S. Air Force, retired.
I'm looking for the Ark. So where's Noah? Good evening, and thank you for your attending this rededication of Memorial Stadium. Your presence is an excellent indicator of the total community support for this Memorial Stadium, both past and present. As one who proudly served 30 years, 10 months, and 15 days in the United States Air Force, I was asked to remind us of the historic roots of this stadium and to appreciate the present-day support of this stadium. Both past and present support are evidence of a vibrant community. As the Grand Island Independent newspaper listed the tremendous number of supporters, especially the generosity of Mr. Lanny Martin, we can readily see the spirit and community of the city of Grand Island and its surrounding areas. And it's to those historic roots you have no doubt read about the origin of Memorial Stadium. It was a community effort in 1947 to honor the sacrifices of so many, but especially the 185 soldiers who gave their lives for the freedom of us all. It was a community spirit to have a fitting memorial for those who made the ultimate sacrifice in World War II, and by extension to all who have served and those who are now serving. So many have served and sacrificed for the common good of the United States of America and our allies. These historic roots are still the foundation of Memorial Stadium. Later in the program, Mr. Jim Carhoff will explain how we can partake of that memory with the modern technology installed. I also want to point out and appreciate the new face of Memorial Stadium, thanks to all the present-day donors. This new face of the stadium will enhance the capability of the stadium to serve so many of the sports and civic events today and tomorrow. It will be a tremendous community asset for many, many years. The historic roots and the present-day enhancements go together. They fit together like a hand and a glove. It's a marvelous testament to the community to retain the historic roots and to enhance and update the stadium to better serve the needs of the community today. There is an old adage, we see and live better if we stand on the shoulders of the past giants. Now we can see an enhanced structure which appreciates the past and yet is open to future sports and civic events. The past and present sacrifices of time, talent, and treasure will continue to bring many, many blessings to the community of Grand Island. So may God bless you for your generosity, and please do participate in many future events of this new, yet old, Grand Island Memorial Stadium. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop Denninger. We pay tribute to all who have served or are serving in our audience, veterans and active duty members. We thank the 1st Infantry Division Band from the U.S. Army at Fort Riley, led by Chief Warrant Officer Benjamin McMillan, for joining us today and providing us music to honor the fight and sacrifice for our country. For their next selection, the Armed Services Medley, we invite all active duty and veterans to stand when you hear your service song play. The United States Coast Guard. The United States Air Force.
my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of thy pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Grand Legacy Campaign co-chair, Islander alum, and Hall County veteran, Jim Carhoff, to the Jack Martin Field.
Thank you. It's a privilege and honor to be here today to honor our veterans. Their song has special meaning to me because it addresses two important words: liberty and freedom. Our liberty and our freedom allows us to be here today. And we gain that liberty and freedom through our veterans' service. They give their lives, they give their time, they give their all for our country. Without them, we would not be here. If you were a veteran, or a family member of a veteran, would you please rise at this time? If you're on active duty, you may also rise. Thank you. Please. There's another group that we want to give special tribute to. They can't be here to rise because they've given their lives for our country. These are the Gold Star families. We have over 629,000 Americans have died from World War I to today. And they've all died on foreign soil. We have 124,000 Americans buried overseas. In the Netherlands and Margarden, the families have adopted the American soldiers, and they go to their grave sites every year and pay tribute and honor to the Americans, thank them for their sacrifices. To them, it's not a graveyard, it's their place where they cherish their freedoms. They've been doing this for 5 generations. We here in Nebraska had 185 fellow Nebraskans in our Hall County area who died in these wars. 185. We honor them in the East Stadium over here, where we have an interactive wall of you saying, and we have a story telling about them and their great sacrifices for our country. To them we have a real debt of gratitude. Is there anybody who is a member of a Gold Star family who has lost a family member or brother, sister, family, or grandfather? Would you rise at this time? Well, that's our purpose for being here, is to pay tribute to these soldiers and these fine young people who've given so much for us. In a few moments, we're going to present the colors and then we'll play taps. I thought you might find interesting the story of taps comes from the Civil War. And I hear the story this way of a Union commander whose unit was engaged in a fierce battle. At the end of the day, he crawled out on the battlefield to retrieve his dead and to tend to his wounded and get them back to safety. In turning over a soldier who was in a Confederate uniform, he found his son had been killed in the battle. The father was heart-stricken. He pulled back the wounded to his lines, and he wanted to give tribute to his son, which of course was impossible because it was in the middle of the battlefield. So he then had the bugler play taps in honor of his passing. To me, cats has always been kind of a grief-stricken thing that you look at and you go, oh, and then now I know why, because it's kind of an eerie sound that comes out of it. So ladies and gentlemen, at this time our colors will approach. Would you please rise for our colors and now have a moment of silence while we so honor our fallen heroes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank all of you for coming to celebrate the rededication of our Grand Legacy Memorial Stadium. It's our pleasure to showcase the talents of the 1st Infantry Division Band of the U.S. Army from Fort Riley. They'll continue to play some musical selections, weather permitting. Memorial Stadium will continue to be open for self-guided tours until 9 p.m. We again want to thank our special guests today, including the Martin family, leadership of our veterans organizations and our school board, city, county, and state government leaders. Also, we're pleased to have NSAA Executive Director Jay Beller with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope to see you back here on Friday nights and also Saturday, October 2nd for the Harvest of Harmony. Please drive safely and thank you again for coming.
It's pretty cool. That is.